If there was one word I had to describe the Afcon semifinals, Andres, I think it would be succulent. Succulent.
Succulent.
We got Senegal versus Egypt and Morocco versus Nigeria. Probably as good as it gets when it comes to the semifinals of Afcon. We're going to talk about all of it today. But before we do, let us know your predictions for those matches in the comments down below and subscribe if you guys are not already. We're going to give you guys a reaction for this round, preview and predictions for the final and reaction for that. And we're going to stream the final as it's going on. So make sure to subscribe for that. Okay, let's just get right into it first. Egypt versus Senegal. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was going to be Ivory Coast versus Senegal. Yep. It's not. It's Egypt versus Senegal. I have a lot of things to say about both teams. First, I want to say Senegal, a little bit disappointing up until this point. I think up until that last...
I'm not going to lie. We were gassing them up going into the semis, and then they played Mali.
For good reason. We were gassing them for good reason.
It was valid. Wasn't on the bandwagon. We liked what we saw. We saw good football, good complete attacking football, good football on both ends of the pitch.
Yeah.
And then the semis happened.
The quarters.
And quarterfinals, I mean. The quarters happen. And then you go, You low key get an ick out of it. You know what I mean? You low key get an ick, and you're like, I don't know about Senegal right now. But I think that's how it kind of goes this Afcon though. You get an ick out of a lot of teams, but here, the good teams find a way. They found a way against Mali, but it wasn't pretty. I can tell you that much. It was. I will say, pretty.
I use the word succulent for the semifinals. The word I would use for Senegal is just wasteful. Like, they're a good team, right? They've played still very well when you look at the entire tournament as a whole. But it's just that last game against Mali should not have just been a 1-0 against a 10-man Mali. They should have done a lot better, right? Let's look at Egypt real quick, too. I mean, we know how Egypt is gonna line up here. It's going to be 5 at the back, haram ball to the max is what's about to happen.
They're going to about to congest that midfield like no other. And they're gonna force Senegal to go wide, but one could argue that could be their strengths. Their left back Malik Diouf. Let me tell you something. He's got a magical left foot when crossing that ball, so maybe it would fall into their preference for him delivering the balls into the box. But
I'd say that's almost the preference of Egypt, though. Like when you look at the Egypt Ivory Coast game, right? They sat at the back. Ivory Coast, all they really could do was send the balls in on a cross, and it's easy pickings for the Egypt defense. That might be the play here. Like you said, it might force Senegal to go out wide and just keep them doing that again. But I think we're going to see 35% possession from Egypt. We're going to see maybe 2 shots in the first half from Egypt, if that. Yet still, I think they have a good shot here. And I think up until this point, I've been very vocal about my disdain for Egypt as a whole.
I still have a disdain for Egypt. For a lot of things, the way they play. The amount of flopping that occurs every single game. Nothing irks me more than flopping. And let me tell you, it's not just Egypt, but Egypt is the most team that will stay on the floor as long as possible, and it'll be the slightest touch known to man, and you'll think he got shot. It's just so frustrating to watch. It kills the game entirely.
That's the game plan for Egypt here, and I think it's going to continue in this one right here. Unfortunately, I didn't think Egypt were going to get this far. I think they have a rather good shot of making it to the final. By playing this kind of style of football, like I said, make it hard for Senegal. Don't give Senegal the easy chances because they can't even finish the easy chances right now, or the easier chances. Make it hard for Senegal. That's all you got to do. This game screams 16th minute winner from Egypt or penalties. Egypt win.
I'd be out $20 if that happened.
That's crazy. The best I'm hitting. Let me compare some stats here real quick through this Afcon. Okay, Senegal, only 2 more goals scored than Egypt. 11 goals for Senegal, 9 for Egypt. And that's with Egypt playing the way they do, with them playing at the back, and Senegal being as good as they are, have only been able to score 2 more goals than Egypt. Look at the shots on target. 43 shots on target for Senegal, 27 for Egypt, and only 2 goal difference. That should tell you just how wasteful Senegal is, and that plays exactly into Egypt's hands right here. So it's going to be pretty good defensively too. Egypt's only conceded 4. Senegal's only conceded 2. I don't really, on the inverse of what I'm saying, right? Is Egypt going to score on Senegal? No, I really don't think so until the 116th minute or penalties. But again,
tired legs,
good back. Substitutions. Yeah, but
their chance. Yes, Egypt scored 3 goals, right? But they were poor goals to concede in an Ivory Coast perspective. Like, you go into that game, you're feeling pretty confident. You're kind of got some hype around you going into that game. Then then you concede the goals the way you concede simple defensive mistakes, just not communicating with each other and picking up a man and just stepping when you shouldn't be stepping. And then that's how they really scored 3 goals, was from stupid errors, from individual errors to team errors. So I think that you got to also take into account that Egypt will pounce on those simple errors, and then we'll make the most of it too. So you got to just be wary of it. Especially Salah, I don't know, he just shows up randomly. You know, in the past few games. If you ask the commentators though on BN Sports, he's the greatest person in the entire gosh darn world. Let me tell you something. Because they were glazing. They were glazing that man.
We know how good Salah is in his prime, right? And obviously he's one of the best African players of all time. But he needs to show up for Egypt here. I'm not saying he's not going to. I do think he's going to. And I think Senegal should be worried about Marmoush and Salah on the sides there. I think they're going to cause a lot of problems. And the way Egypt play right now, right, sitting at the back, they're the perfect 2 attackers to use on a transition, to use on a counter and get something against Senegal here. I think Senegal need to really be wary of losing focus, right? If Egypt are going to sit back, Senegal are going to have like 60 to 70% possession of the ball. It's very easy to just like let that happen and not really try too hard and not keep your focus on the game. I'm really worried that that's what Senegal is going to do. Is they're going to be, they're pushing it, no goal. And then Egypt's going to get a goal off a counter because they were locked in or something like that. All that to say, predictions real quick, Andres. I still have Senegal winning it. Like my prediction, I'm going to win by 1. I got a 1-0 Senegal win here, but do not be surprised if this game goes to extra time and or penalties. I got 1-0 Senegal here though.
I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I think it's going to be ones like both in the second half. I think it's going to take a little bit to break them down. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 in the second half. You know, I wasn't wrong last time.
For Senegal or for Egypt?
For Senegal. Sorry, okay. Senegal. For Senegal. Egypt, I don't see really scoring here. I think they're facing a little bit better opposition defensively wise, and I think they're going to stay switched on for this game. Because like if you stay switched on against Egypt, they're not really going to do a whole lot. You know what I mean? And you can't fall into their mind games of getting frustrated. That's the thing. You can't fall into that because it's exactly what they want, because they're going to take advantage of it every single time. Especially if Egypt somehow score early, it's going to be a tough way to crawl back into that game. Yes, it'll be like, a lot of time in the game, but Egypt will use every dark magic trick in the book to get through that 90 minutes with a 1-0 win. So you just got to be wary of that. But, you know, Egypt are also prone to mistakes, though, you know, defensively. Last judgment, they had an own goal last game as well. So, you know, a little last judgment, but you just got to be wary of that for sure. But I definitely need more from Senegal's attacking wide side, because that Mali goal was something to behold. Unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to back up Senegal, mainly also because I have a $20 bet on them. So I need them to win that game for me.
I mean, you know, we just mentioned it right here. Egypt are going to frustrate Senegal. Again, that is where I'm the most worried for Senegal going into this game, is they're going to let that happen to them. What's been happening with Senegal is you're not scoring enough. You're getting chances, but you're not putting it away. That gets frustrating for everyone involved. Attackers, midfielders, defenders, keeper. Everybody gets frustrated at that point. That's exactly what Egypt want. Senegal, just simple as this. Senegal need to put the ball in the back of the damn net. When they get the opportunities, which they have been getting the opportunities, just put the damn ball in the back of the net. I know it sounds easy. It sounds simple. Score more goals in the team. You guys know what I mean.
Sound like Dana White out here, bro.
Dana White.
Not Joe Rogan or Dana White. I don't know.
They're the same thing to me. Growing up, I thought they were the same person. They just need to finish their chances. That's all it is. They're going to get chances in this game. Egypt, as defensively sound as they have been, there are better defenses. And I think that they need to be on top of the game. Senegal also need to be top of the game. Senegal need to put the ball in the back of the net. I still got Senegal doing that here. I think they're going to come back for that Mali game, to be honest. And they're going to have a Morocco-esque game, I feel like, where Morocco had a really meh tournament up until that last one. And then Morocco, you know, came out and kind of blew Cameroon out of the water. Speaking of better defenses and Morocco versus Nigeria, man. This is, for me, whoever wins this wins the Afcon. You have Nigeria, who I think would be widely considered the best remaining team out of these last 4. They've shown enough to be the best, at least the best attack. And then you have Morocco, who have come out of nowhere almost to get back on track and are now in the semifinal.
They found their form out of nowhere.
They picked up form out of nowhere, and they're probably the best defense remaining in this last 4 is what I would say. Just to look at the defense real quick. Morocco have conceded 1 goal in this entire Afcon tournament. That might not make sense to you. But if you watch some games, maybe they should have conceded more. But they've only conceded 1. They've kept 4 clean sheets in this entire Afcon. So they are, I mean, who's going to win here? Is it Nigeria's attack? Is it Morocco's defense?
I don't know. They do have Morocco's. They have individual talent. That's the thing, though, that's getting them also over the line. Is they have probably the best player of the tournament. Probably he's going to win the player of the tournament out here. But I don't know. I want Nigeria to win because I think that would be really a cool storyline to happen. And I think that they're playing well. I think they found their form and they're attacking wise. I just don't think they're going to be able to break down Morocco's defense like there have been in the past with other teams. That's the thing. And also defensively, they're not the strongest ever. And I think that's where Morocco can kind of wait for a little bit, kind of hit them on a quick counter at the same time. You know what I mean? Because I think Nigeria's strong defensively when they sit back, but I think when they're going to be able to go forward, I think that's when they're going to get caught out. So I think that's where Morocco can take some serious advantage. And also, Nigeria has to be patient here because this is probably one of the better defenses of, this is the best defense of the tournament, right? So and
at this
we've already
point,
seen what happens when things are going right and they still argue with each other. So I just wait to see what's going to happen when things aren't going right and they're getting frustrated and not be able to create the chances they're looking for. So that's going to be interesting. But Morocco have been susceptible to the counterattack in previous games, except last game. They kind of shut down Cameroon's attack entirely. And that frustrated Cameroon. So this one's a tough one to call. I'm not going to lie. This could go either way. I can really see it go either way. This I can definitely see go to penalties, though. I won't lie to you. I can definitely see penalty. Maybe Bono's going to have to do something amazing to keep him in or something. I have no idea, but this is a penalty. This screams penalties for me. I think it's gonna be like 2-2 going into penalties. If I'm being completely honest,
interesting.
It'll be a cracker of a game.
I feel like I don't say penalties at all with this one personally. I have. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit here. Okay, Nigeria, right? No Ndidi for this game. Huge piece of their midfield. Huge. Yes, you can replace him with Onyedika, and he has been fantastic so far when he's been called upon. But he doesn't have the defensive capabilities that Wilfred Ndidi does. Is that going to be enough to give Morocco the win? I don't think so. I think, again, Morocco is still going to be more defensively sound than attacking sound. But Nigeria have some things to worry about there. But still, regardless, I think the tournament's best attack beats the tournament's best defense right now. That's just where I see it. Also because I don't think Morocco will have as much attacking freedom and attacking chances in this game compared to normal. And they've struggled with their final third, opportunities throughout this tournament, to be honest. And I think it's going to continue. I don't obviously Brahim Diaz is the best player of the entire tournament so far. I think he's going to ghost a little bit here. If I'm being honest, I think he's going to get shut down a little bit here. I think Abde as well on the left side is going to. I know that would be my luck, but I think Abde on the left side, even though I love you, Abde, for being a Batiste fan, I just don't think he's going to provide much here. I do think Nigeria are going to shut them down, and I think Eric Shell knows this team well enough in Nigeria to set them up for success, and he has been fantastic with this team. I think also, too, the difference here is I think Nigeria are going to play they want to play, and it's going to be enough. I think Morocco are going to play to meet Nigeria there, but Nigeria are just going to play however they want to play. And that's going to be on the front foot. That's going to be 60% possession, shots on goal. That's where I see Nigeria succeeding here. And I just don't think Morocco have enough in them right now to nullify that. A quick note, too. Last time they played in a truly competitive game, not counting the local cup, it was 2004. 2004. So very, very unfamiliar matchup here for both of them. Yeah. But I'm going to give it to Nigeria. I just from what I've seen up until this point, they've been absolutely electric. Again, probably the best team in this tournament.
I want to back them, right? But I don't want to get caught on the hype train and then Morocco, good teams find a way to win. And arguably Morocco should be winning this tournament because they're still on the hype train back from all the way in the last World Cup.
Right.
Not
and
the
they're
hype
home.
Train, but they still, So that's the thing though, is I'm fully bought into Nigeria winning. I really hope Nigeria do win because I have a feeling they might, but I'm just saying Morocco's, I feel like is one of those teams that they may not be the best going into it, but they're gonna find a way to win. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be just one of those things where it's like, oh, they found a way to win. They get to the finals, and that's all that matters. So that's why I'm hesitant. I understand what you're saying. I'm just not fully bought in because I'm a little pessimistic, and I'm like, I don't know. Morocco still got kind of that factor, and that's what I'm saying, the individual factor. I think because Nigeria plays really well as a team. They have a lot of talent on the attacking end. They're able to play really well as a group, creating chances. It's just Morocco has that individual talent that can possibly get them into a game or win a game for them. So that's the only reason why. But I do hope Nigeria win here. But I'm going to go Nigeria win on penalties. That's what I'm going to go with. What about you, Elijah? Give me your score prediction.
I'm sorry. First, I'm almost going to disagree with you on the individual. I think both teams have individual talent, but I think Nigeria have shown more in individual talent thus far. I think, look at the players that have been performing. Iwobi, oh my God, magnificent thus far. Midfield of Ndidi, Onyedika when he comes in, like I said. Osimhen, Lookman's been creating goals out of nowhere. Even at that back line, Calvin Bassey's been, great here and there. That's just to name a few. Morocco has the individual talent too. Obviously, Brahim Diaz, Abde, El Kaabi, and whatnot. I just don't think it's enough. I really do think Nigeria have more players that would show up on their own to change the game than Morocco does. And Morocco, like that, especially that back line, Aguerd and whatnot, they really need to be very cohesive here, I think, to not be broken down by Nigeria. So I'm going to go Nigeria's winning here as well. I have Nigeria moving on. I don't think it goes to penalties. I'd be kind of shocked, to be honest, if it does. I do think Nigeria is going to be scoring more goals here. This is kind of a tough. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 Nigeria here.
Damn.
Yeah. I feel like I understand what you're saying about Nigeria, and you don't want to buy into the hype train. It's kind of reversed for me though. Like Morocco haven't had a great tournament thus far. I've been rather disappointed with everything. And they had one great game against Cameroon. Again, great performance. But for me, that's more of the hype train part. Like, why would I buy into that when up until this point they've been whatever? I obviously I don't know if they're back. That was one game. I don't know if they're back. Whereas Nigeria, only team remained to have won all 5 games of this tournament. And they deserve to be here. Like I said, they are a very, I think 90% of Afcon fans would agree that they're the best team in the tournament so far. And they're playing like it, they're showing up like it. I think it's easier for me to buy into the team that's been succeeding than this Morocco side. Again, at the same time, though, you're playing in Morocco, you're playing at home, it's going to be a hostile environment.
There's a lot more on.
But hey, despite our disagreements, Andres, we agreed on both winners for both of these games.
It's crazy. I want Nigeria to win because I think it'd be awesome. I'm just skeptical because Morocco's it's kind of like Argentina in the World Cup. You know what I mean? Like had a slow start. You're kind of like, but they kept finding a way to win. And Morocco is one of those things. It's like, they're the host nation. And they maybe that game against Cameroon was the way for them to kickstart it, and that's just kind of going to bring them to the next level that they need to be to win this game. But all signs point to Nigeria because they've performed consistently well throughout the entire tournament in my book. So I'm just split. I'm just split 50-50. Yeah. That's why I'm not betting on this game because I have no idea. I only bet.
There's no safe bet here.
There's no safe bet here. You can bet on both teams winning. That's the safe bet is doing that. But yeah.
Wait, does that mean you're 100% certain Senegal is getting the win against Egypt? Because I was like 99.9% certain that Ivory Coast were going to win that last one.
Oh no, I wasn't. I bet money on Ivory Coast winning that one and I lost. But I didn't bet. I went all in though. I said, you know what, $20, boom. I believe in my boy Doof. He's going to bring it home, and so we're going to see what happens. But let me tell you something. I pray it does because then I'll be out $20.
We unfortunately will not be streaming any of these games. We've streamed a game from every round of the tournament thus far. We're all busy on Wednesday, but we are going to be streaming the final. Like I said, no matter who's in it, I'm hoping Nigeria because I have a Nigeria kit. But that's beside the point.
Selfish reasons.
Selfish reasons. What more is there to back a team in football? So make sure, again, if you're not subscribed, do so now and hit that bell so you get notifications when we go live, when we post things, all those whatnot. We got a poll running in the community tab about who's going to win Afcon, so make sure to go vote on that. Make sure to leave your opinions down below on who's going to win between Egypt, Senegal, and Morocco versus Nigeria in the comments down below. If you're on mobile, hype it up, get us up there on the leaderboards, and grow this video as best you can. We'd appreciate that. My name is Elijah. That was Andres. We are Getting Football. We'll see you guys after the round of the semifinals. Take care.